Hi, this is Gizelle Ortiz-Velazquez, also known as Cookie, and I wanted to talk a little bit about La Casa LatinoAmericana, which was a student organization at the Syracuse University campus and was active when I attended. La Casa Latinoamericana, or La Casa as we called it, was comprised of Latino students from the United States, predominantly from New York City, but as well as the Caribbean, Latin America, Central America, and also from Spain. We also had non-Latino students that were members of the organization, so everyone was welcome. We may not have had the same background, but we had common roots, and we were very proud of that. I was the president of La Casa Latinoamericana my freshman year as well as my senior year. We were located in this little red house that was located at 203 Marshall Street, and it was really our home away from home. Many hours were spent at this house planning and talking and socializing and playing music. And actually, we shared the house with the Student Afro-Americans organization. We had our offices there, and we had an opportunity to work together during the time I was there from 1980 to 1984. There weren't many folks of color on the campus, so we were very, very fortunate that we were able to forge some very strong bonds with our African American fellow students, and we really supported one another and really loved and cared for each other. So that was a really special time. The Casa Latinoamericana house, which was, as I said, at 203 Marshall Street, was actually torn down the summer of 1983 to make way for a parking lot. I actually was on campus that summer, so I had an opportunity to actually go to the house, and actually had to pack up the house before they tore it down, and moved us to a different location. So the photograph you see is literally the very last photograph that was taken of the house before it was torn down. So that was really sad, but like I said, really, really special times were spent there. I'm not really sure when La Casa Latinoamericana was founded. I know that previous to La Casa, there had been another organization on campus which was called PRO, which was the Puerto Rican organization. That was founded, I want to say, around 1970, and it may have lasted into the mid-70s. And then La Casa Latinoamericana might have been founded around the same time, but not really sure, to be perfectly honest. All I know is that when I got onto campus in 1980, the organization was active. I think, like any organization, it had an evolution. So it may have started out with being comprised of students from Latin American countries, and then it kind of morphed and evolved where there were quite a number of students, Latino students from New York City, who became part of the organization. I mean, for me, really, what it represented was really a refuge for students. We were away from home, many of us, for the very first time, and La Casa just really allowed us to come together and support one another, and just be able to hang out and talk to each other and just bond. Like I said, there was a lot of music that was played. We had a reputation of having the best parties on the campus, which, I have to say that it was great because obviously it was a nice combination of both the music of the moment in Spanish as well as in English. And I have a funny story. I remember the last time that there was a party at the house, it was attended by hundreds of people. I couldn't even tell you how many hundreds of people attended, but there were a lot. And I always recall that the DJ played the song Whip It by Devo. And when that song came on, as you can remember, everybody jumped up and started to dance and started to jump on the floor. Now remember, this house was a wooden house. So as folks were jumping on the floor, you really could feel the floor moving. It was moving up and down. So I remember we kind of asked everybody to stop jumping because we were concerned that floor was going to cave in. So I the following week, I actually reported to the university my concern about the floor. So they actually sent some inspectors over to the house in order to check out what was going on. And it turns out that when they checked it, they found that all the support braces to the floor were actually cracked. So whether or not that was another reason why the house was basically condemned and torn down, I don't know. I don't think so, because at this point, I think the university was going through a time where they were demolishing a lot of the older wooden homes and putting up parking structures and parking lots and all that. There was a lot of growth going on, but it was pretty amazing that we actually cracked that floor, and those support braces were cracked, and there were no parties in the house after that, because obviously we could not risk anyone getting injured. But it was a great party, and we had a good time. I remember that there was a saying that someone had said that I'm not sure where the saying comes from, but I remember it was so poignant that we actually had it painted on the wall on the first floor in what was the little living room of the house. And the saying was, soy porque somos, y porque somos soy. And basically that translates to is I am because we are, and because we are, I am. And I think that really encapsulates just the special times that we had at Syracuse University during that time, and just the wonderful special people that were there during that time, and how we all came together to love and support one another. Anyway, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak about my experiences at SU, as well as to speak about La Casa. I think it's really important that we not forget our history. Be well and take care.
Check it out, I'm the CASN, the OVA, and the rest is FLY. You see, I go by the code of the doctor of the mix, and these reasons I'll tell you why.